Hello, breeders. This message is for you. Please stay tuned. It's going to take 10 to 12 minutes, I believe, to get through all the information I have. This is my best way to refer everybody to this video that will be pinned at the top of my Facebook page that you can refer to if you have any questions and need to refer back. This should answer most of the questions. And if it does not, please comment below and send me a PM messenger with any further questions, and we can discuss that on an individual basis. But there's a lot of information to cover here, and it's very, very important for all of you to listen to this entire message because there have been some changes this year. There will be an email coming on sometime middle of next week for all of you regarding these changes, and also just normal annual protocol, dates of the season, collection dates, meaning what days of the week each stallion will be collected. They will all be available, both of them, be available 3 days a week. Most of you are Gemstone Clover breeders, but for those of you who are Cloverstone Celtic Gem or Tully breeders, there's going to be some very important notes in there for Saturday collections due to FedEx not shipping on Sundays and same day collection requests on Saturdays and things like that. I'm not going to get into all the details, but you will be getting an email with all of that information. As well as, especially for your beginner breeders, very important instructions for ordering the collection, which for both stallions will require that the request for the collection gets put in no later than 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time the day before they're collected. File that one and bolden it in your brain because I want this to be successful for everyone. But the reason that is very important this year is because we have decided to switch who will be collecting the stallions this year. I made the decision after 8 years of a wonderful partnership with Colorado State University, who have been amazing on the breeding end. They have been very timely with getting shipments out, with working with each and every client, and getting the collections done on time. Gemstone Clover has resided at Colorado State University for many years, and it was easier for late callers to get their collections because he was on site. That is not going to be the case this year. Gemstone Clover will be staying home with me, as well as Tully, his son, because of a couple factors. He is 19 years old this year, and he has been an absolute soldier and ambassador for the breed, and at the same time, he's reached a level of burnout for living up at the facility away from home. It has taken a toll on him, and it's taken me a while to sort of get him back to his happy place when he comes home after breeding. And I've just decided this year I'd like to keep him home, keep him in work, keep him happier, more fit, and I'd like to show him again this summer, which is exciting. But that was never really an option because after so many, 10 weeks up at the breeding facility, he would just come home so out of shape that it hasn't been possible. So as a result, I'm using a different breeder that's closer to my barn, not too far from CSU. So for all of you local breeders that want to pick up semen, it's barely make a difference in your lives. But for those of you who are having shipments sent, the orders are going to have to be called in the day before. No exceptions to that rule, and that will be emboldened in the email that you get. And that's always been the rule anyway, even when Tucci was living up there. but we were able to sort of make some exceptions to the rule because, okay, he's here already, and there were other mares getting collected that day, and okay, we had some left over. In this case, it really is going to be different this year. So also, as a result, I need to update my contracts because CSU is currently in the contract as the collection facility for releasing them from liability of certain things, right? Like your mare's health, or if your mare took or not, that's on your end kind of stuff. All of those are normal liability protocols in a contract, but I have to add the new breeder in as well onto that contract. So I'll be sending that updated contract out to all of you along with the email next week. So just gathering my thoughts here. So we'll have to, unfortunately, I can't remember if the first page of the contract mentions CSU or not, and if it doesn't, you can just take that contract we had with your mare's information and just put that on top, replace the other sheet of the new contract that I'm sending out, and then the rest, the new contract with the new names added in. Hopefully that made sense. CSU will still be on the contract for 3 reasons. Cooled shipments going to Canada, the stallion will be collected at Colorado State University for those reasons. There's a couple of you this year that need that. Frozen semen shipments to Canada through Colorado State University, because they have all of my frozen semen on file and will be doing all of the shipping. Frozen semen continental United States, also through Colorado State University. All other local and continental US cooled ship pickup or shipped FedEx will be through the new breeder. Other than the new breeder's name, nothing changes. You'll all be receiving the semen the same way that you did from Colorado State. It will be through FedEx. And in fact, the new breeder used to work at CSU and has his own clinic now. He's a wonderful vet. He still has a wonderful working relationship with CSU. And so other than a name change on the ship semen procedure sheet, nothing else is going to change, other than we just need to sign a new contract with their name included, okay? So there's a little extra paperwork this year, and I'm sorry, but I had to put that in there. For my new breeders, I've spoken with most of you on the phone, and I'm here to answer any and all of your questions all the time, any day. But please do know that you're going to want to pick a vet that has a really high conception rate across multiple mares, multiple farms. That basically you're going to want to use a vet who is well seasoned, so they know how to catch that ovulation status appropriately, force an ovulation if necessary, reduce fluid off the cervix with oxytocin when needed. Every mare is different, but a seasoned vet is going to know, catch any infection that might be there, and be able to diagnose properly why a mare, after all that, might still not be taking and stuff. But the whole goal is to get your shipment out and get your mare bred the first time. And so I can't stress enough to save you money, because it's the same price for every time that you have a shipment sent out. You can avoid those additional shipment costs if you get it done right the first time. As for shipments for all of you, in the past, CSU has done a bundled price. Last year was $450 to include both the collection and the overnight ship. If you are on the West Coast or in the Midwest this year, that number will likely go down a little bit. The standard charge for collections alone without shipping is going to be $350 per mare. And the FedEx pricing will be on an individual case by case scenario. So if you're on the East Coast, the shipping price may go up. If you're on the West Coast, the shipping price will probably go down. So just be aware that there's going to be a little bit of flexibility in that pricing, or to remain flexible on a case by case scenario. And I am going to try to make sure that my breeder includes in there the extra few dollars for the insurance, so that if the shipment gets lost or held up in a holding facility somewhere, winter storm keeps it from getting delivered, that you get a good amount of your investment back on that particular collection and shipping. So those details will be hashed out as well. There was something else, darn it, on the FedEx. Anyway, hopefully I'll think of it again. Okay, on the names of all of you breeders. As you know, I have reached out to about, or made contact with about 98% of you through Facebook, which has been great. And we talk on Facebook Messenger, but a lot of times people have a Facebook Messenger name that is not the same name that they'll be using. So I'll use myself as an example. I'm not married, but let's say I was. Let's scratch that. Let's pretend it's somebody else. Okay, hopefully we all had a laugh there. Let's say Sarah Andrews is on Facebook, okay? And that's how I know Sarah, is Sarah Andrews. But Sarah Andrews is her maiden name. She never changed it to her married name, which is Sarah Peterson. So the breeder calls me. I've authorized Sarah Andrews for the collection because she's paid me in full. And the breeder calls and says, oh, Sarah Peterson says she's ready for her mare to be bred. And I say, I don't know a Sarah Peterson. Well, it turns out it's Sarah Andrews, but I never cleared that up with them, and she never clarified that to me. So please, I am reaching out to each and every one of you individually to try to get that name nailed down, and so I can associate you accordingly when the breeders call me. Let's say you want a second breeding and I need to authorize you for that second breeding, but I don't know your name. So I'm going through everybody on my list through Facebook to try to have your correct name on the breeder sheet, so that when if they need to call me about you, I know who you are. Those of you there are going to be people who don't see this video because they contacted me on text only or via email, and I will do my absolute best to make sure to reach you all on email or wherever to get this message across too. And like I said, this is all going out on a general email with the new contract in the breeder sheets to sign. So every year is a challenge, but it's a challenge I love. If you are using a veterinary clinic to do handle all of your breeding stuff, and Valley Brook Veterinary Clinic calls my breeder and says we're ready for a shipment, they're going to need to let that vet know what the mare owner or agent who signed a contract with me, what their name is, so that they can find you on the authorized list. So please let your vets know to let my breeder know when they call in the collection request what your real name is, so that they can find you and get that shipment out to the vet. Those of you who are rolling over from last year who I haven't talked to yet but will reach out to here soon, if you hear this before I do reach out to you, the normal rebook is $250 for the second year use of the contract. Whether you bred last year or not, your mare didn't take, or you just chose not to breed, it is a $250 rebook. I will reduce that to $125 if you guys can get back to me before March 17th. So we can get you all assigned. It'll save you a little bit of money there too. I should say get you all authorized. And as for my local breeders who are going to be picking up semen, that will be available from the new breeding and collection facility. And if you need your mares to be bred on site, they can do that as well. The haul-in can be scheduled very easily. It's about a 20-minute drive from CSU, so it's not far. It's just 20 minutes farther south towards me, towards my barn, which is closer for me to haul the horses back and forth as well, my own stallion. So if anybody is south of CSU, it'll save you a little bit of time. Anyone in Fort Collins or north, you'll have to drive just a little bit farther to go get the semen, but it's relatively close. If you are intending on dropping your mares off for, let's say, a week or two for a monitor, then you may still end up using CSU, just because the new collection facility is sort of limited on space of how many mares they can accept. But that will also all be addressed with my local breeders, and you'll have, you know, the option to contact the new facility. I'm just not mentioning their name right now because it's sort of it's a new deal, and it's sort of private between myself and my breeders, but you all will know who it is here in the next week. And I think you'll all be very happy. So I hope I covered everything. I'm looking at my notes here. Those of you who are new, who have only paid the booking so far but still owe the rest of the stud fee, you are pre-authorized on the list, meaning you've booked your mare but you're not authorized for collection yet. So those residual fees will need to be paid a minimum of 72 hours prior to requesting your collection in order to be authorized for the collection. So I think that covers it all. And again, thank you all so much for choosing my stallions for your mares. Loads of thanks to my repeat breeders who continue to love the foals they're seeing on the ground. Those of you who have referred the stallions to other friends who have, you know, latched onto the program, incredible. Thank you. It's, you all make my world go round and help me see this vision through, and it's been a wonderful ride. So all right, if there's any other questions, just send me a PM or comment below. And like I said, this video will be pinned so you can refer back to it at any time. And I look forward to working with all of you this year, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks.